So, welcome to Spilling the Tea with Susie. It's me, Susie, and this is Caitlyn. You know her, and she's been around for a while, and we're gonna have fun. Okay, time to start. We're good? Oh, excellent. You guys, thank you so much for helping me. Okay, so are you ready to answer some really fun questions?
I am so ready.
I'm so excited. So your very first question is, which Nancy Drew game would you choose as your aesthetic?
Oh, why is my heart racing? I'm like, these questions are so exciting already.
I know.
The Nancy Drew game I would choose for my personal aesthetic. That's a really good question. I'm going to go Ghost Dogs of Moon Lake.
Ooh.
I am born and raised in Minnesota,
Mhm.
and kind of that outdoorsy, wearing a flannel, wearing a puffer vest, wearing layers so that you can change with the weather.
Yeah.
Always my vibe, and I just love like the naturey vibes of
Yeah.
Ghost Dogs.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So Morgan is the one who asked this question, and I'm sure you're aware, as everyone is, that Ghost Dogs is her very favorite game. So she's gonna love that you chose that.
That's amazing. It is my second favorite game, and one of my, like, I think it was the second game I ever played too. It is so good.
Really? So what was the first game you played?
Final Scene. I
That's
technically like tried Ghost Dogs first when I was very little and got too scared. So then I tried Final Scene, and once I made it through that, I felt brave enough to try again.
That's so funny. I feel like as a child, Final Scene bothered me more than Ghost Dogs did, because Nancy's so stressed in Final Scene. And like in Ghost Dogs, she's just like, oh, there's some dogs attacking the house. Okay, let's go outside.
Let's just wander around the woods at night while the dogs are out there. It's
Literally.
fine.
Yeah, she's just like, la la la, let's go. And then in the final scene, she's just like, she can't eat, she can't sleep, she can do nothing until she finds Maya. So
Right.
so stressful.
You are so right. And the theater is just so creepy because it's so like quiet, and theaters aren't supposed to be quiet and abandoned. So
Right.
yeah,
And it's
so scary.
dark. And like as a
Mhm.
child, I was very like kind of, oh, thank you for subscribing, Arcelli94. That's so awesome of you. I was very against dark enclosed spaces as a child. So I mean, I guess I still am. The dark theater that you can't go outside, you're just kind of stuck there. I was so not into that.
Yeah, the like claustrophobia.
Mm-hmm.
Do you notice that with other Nancy Drew games that take place in one building?
No, just that one. Yeah, isn't that weird?
It's super creepy. Like, they did a really good job making it terrifying.
Yeah, they really did. Yeah. What other games take place in only one building?
Curse of Blackmore Manor, Captive Curse. Well, I guess we get to go outside in Captive Curse.
Yeah. Deadly Device,
Haunted
I guess.
Mansion.
Yeah, Haunted Mansion. Yeah, but I don't know. Those are brighter and
Yeah,
not as like enclosed, I feel like.
sure.
Yeah.
There's something about like the creepy carnival type music too that's just a little unsettling.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we've already gone off on a tangent. That was our first question.
Sorry.
No, it's totally fine. Okay, so what is your favorite piece of your personal merch?
Oh, good question. I'm gonna go with the classic Greetings, Fellow Detectives crew neck. That was a piece last year and this year. And it's the piece that I feel like is kind of just like most Wizard Kitten focused. So it's always fun when I get to see pictures of people wearing their sweatshirt, or people are getting asked like, oh, what does that mean? Are you a detective? Oh, do you belong to a club? Like, that just makes me so happy.
Oh my gosh. I agree with Carter. The bag is amazing.
I just used my bag on a hike today. I'm so glad people like it.
Oh, I love that. That's so cool. Man, I wear my merch all the time, and I always kind of like wait for somebody to come up to me and be like, what does it mean to be a real Snoopy Susie? And I'm like, well, I have a YouTube channel, but it never happens.
Yes. Right?
So,
One day.
Next question. What has been your favorite Nancy Drew Sims creation so far? And do you anticipate doing more?
Oh yeah, definitely anticipate doing more. I always get random bursts of inspiration, especially when they release new packs and I know that it'll line up with the aesthetic of a certain game.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, but my favorite.
Recently.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was just screaming Secret of Shadow Ranch. It had to happen. Oh, man. It's tough because I do recreations of real life locations, or not real life locations, I guess they're Nancy Drew real life locations, and try to recreate them in The Sims. And then I do builds that are inspired by the kind of like mood and vibe of the game too. And as far as the recreations, it's funny because Trail of the Twister isn't one of my favorite games, but I really enjoyed the recreation of the Canute farmhouse because I felt like I was able to take the style of the rooms that we do see and really easily apply it to like what the kitchen might have looked like, and imagining like Debbie and Scott hanging out in the kitchen and getting their coffee in the morning.
Like, I love that.
Yeah.
So I was really kind of new to your channel pretty recently. I'd say sometime this summer was when I was like made aware of your existence. So I didn't know that you did this, but I think that I did, because for years now I've been playing The Sims 4, and I've been just, whenever the fancy strikes me, I will create a Nancy Drew location in The Sims 4.
Awesome.
And so I made this whole world that was like literally only Nancy Drew stuff, and it wasn't just my stuff. I would go to the gallery and I would find other people's stuff, and I really think that I have like everything you've ever done.
Oh my goodness.
I must, because there were some really, really good ones, and I was like, I have to have this in my Nancy Drew world. I have to have this.
Yay! I'm so glad.
Yeah. Oh, that is so fun. What is your gallery name?
Spirit Scarlet 100.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Yeah. Yep. I've done a build from a recreation from every single Nancy Drew game now except the Captive Curse, which my followers are very good at reminding me that I have not yet built Castle Finster, and I really need to get on it, but I'm so intimidated by it. It'll happen someday.
Yeah, that's gonna be a big build.
Yeah.
Man,
and I really want to do it justice.
I love doing Nancy Drew recreations in The Sims. It is so fun.
It's so fun, and a unique challenge too, because The Sims 4, has like the constraints that it has, and so balancing, trying to get it realistic, but also work in The Sims is tricky sometimes.
Yeah, I agree. I made Wickford Castle last. I was very pregnant, and I was very like just bored because I had to stop working. So I was like, let's just build something in The Sims. So I made Wickford Castle, and I had the best time deciding like where the kitchen would go, and what the guest rooms would look like. And my absolute favorite part was coming up with the staff quarters.
Yeah.
And I had, oh my gosh, it was so much fun. But
that's such a good idea.
Yeah, I had such a good time making stuff. I was like, this is where Dexter lives, and this is where Christy Lane lives when she's there. It was so fun. But of course, Jacques lived in the basement.
Of course.
Of course. But yeah,
he must.
It's so fun. It's just, and I had a great time doing, I made Katie's boat, which was probably the hardest.
Because, oh, cool.
Like, how do you make a boat? It was really, really hard, but I tried.
Did you do it in Sulani?
I did.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. You have to.
That's such a good idea.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, I did a lot, because that was like my favorite worlds. It probably is my favorite worlds that they've ever made. I don't know why, but
it's beautiful.
I made so many things there, and there were so many games that fit there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna have to get on Sims 4 tonight and just look at your whole library.
Oh, yay! Enjoy.
Thank you. I love it. Carter wants to see Katie's boat. It's on the gallery if you're in Sims 4. Otherwise, I don't know. Maybe I'll have to just show you someday. We need to pick Susie. Well, if you were in my Facebook group, then you would have seen it when I made it. Just saying. All right. The next question is, can you show us your cat?
That's a good question. Where is she? She was in here and just a little bit ago. And I have the door open, so she could wander in at some point. Do we want to see the cat immediately?
I don't think we need it immediately, but
okay.
If she wanders in, then you can be like, okay, Susie, shut up. I have something more important.
Wait, hold the presses. Yeah, I mean, she's gorgeous, she's wonderful, she's my life. So if she comes in, I will definitely let everyone know, and I'll try to grab her before the end.
Oh, she's so beautiful.
I'm a little biased, but I agree.
She is, yeah. Her like coat pattern is just beautiful.
The marbling and the swirling.
Yeah,
Oh.
I love the marble look on cats. They're so beautiful. Oh,
yeah.
I showed my husband last night when I was watching your stream. I was like, look at this cat.
I love her so much.
Sweet. Oh.
And she was really showing off on the stream last night, jumping on top of the new chair.
Yeah.
Little show off.
I really liked that. It was so entertaining. Everyone in the chat was like, I could just watch 10 hours of this.
It's so true. Honestly, same.
I know. I love cats. If my cat is awake, he'll probably show up at some point. So.
Do you have the one?
I have two.
You have two?
One will like never shows up on streams, and then the other one is really personable.
So love that.
He's always trying to like bite my notebook and stuff while I'm streaming.
Aww.
Yeah.
Love me.
They are good boys. They're actually really not. They're horrible cats, but I love them.
It's fun when they have a little bit of personality, you know.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Are they still pretty young, like kitten behavior?
One is okay. Turning 3, probably. Actually, it may have just turned 3. I don't actually know his true birthday.
Sure.
And he is basically an old man now. Because he like broke his legs when he was a kitten.
Oh no.
And so he walks really badly because they never healed properly because he was so small. So he like looks like an old man and walks like an old man.
Sweet baby.
I know. So he's like a grumpy old man, I swear. And then my other one is probably just a year old. So
okay, sure.
Very kittenish.
Yeah. Feisty.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. All right, so Nancy Drew Nerd, my friend, has just redeemed a game of FMK. So, Are you familiar with the game Fight, Marry, Kiss?
I am.
All right. So I have 3 wheels. I have every Nancy Drew character, male and female, including the phone characters.
Okay.
And I have just the men and just the women. What wheel would you like?
That must be a huge wheel.
It's huge. It's 191 characters.
Wow. Let's go with the men.
Okay. Let's do it. I'm so excited. This is my favorite game.
I've got lots of Nancy Drew crushes, so this might be tough.
Same. Okay, let's see who your first guy is.
Okay. Fingers crossed.
Are you hoping for anybody in particular?
Are, like, Frank and Joe on there?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, no.
So your first person is Johnny Rawl.
Wonderful.
Hopefully you'll have some better luck next time.
I'm gonna get Tito Balducci next.
Colin Baxter.
Oh no.
This is gonna be a good one.
Oh no.
And finally, oh my gosh, I swear if we get Tina Balducci.
Is it Tina Balducci? Oh, Trequelna. Wow, this is the lineup. Oh my.
Oh, this is bad.
I don't particularly enjoy any of these gentlemen. Let's see. Hello. Okay. I'm fighting, marrying, and kissing?
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna marry Jean-Michel Trequenard.
Okay.
Because the other two creep me out.
Yeah.
And Jean-Michel, he's just kind of arrogant, kind of obnoxious, but he knows his stuff. Like, I could deal.
He's probably rich.
Yeah, he's probably also super rich. That would be nice. Could live in Paris. I mean, there are perks.
Yeah.
There are perks. Oh.
What?
I will kiss Colin Baxter. And I will fight Johnny Roll.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. Once Colin
Susie
Baxter,
should be
one
sleeping.
time,
No.
Oh.
and then I'll fight
How
Johnny Roll.
about Lilo should be sleeping?
Oh, I knew you were gonna redeem Lilo Morgan. Good job. Okay, so speaking of Lilo, did you know that Lilo still likes to sleep in your sweatshirt merch, as do the kitties?
Yes, which makes me so happy.
Sweet.
The cutest little models ever.
Oh, they're so adorable. So, what sort of exclusive content can you get from your Patreon?
Oh, great question. So there's a whole catalog of exclusive content videos. So there's like me showing off my entire Nancy Drew collection, including like all my merch, all my games, all my books. I collect classic editions of the books. There's cooking videos. There's vlogs where I go on vacations that are kind of like Nancy Drew themed. So there's a whole catalog of videos, but recently I have switched over to doing exclusive live streams for the Patreon for the Senior Detective exclusive content. So during the school year, when I'm not doing the summer
Susie
stream-a-thon,
should be
I'll play
sleeping?
Nancy Drew games as part
No.
of the
How
exclusive
about
content.
Lilo
And we
should
also
be
explore
sleeping.
some other games that maybe wouldn't work super well for the channel for whatever reason, but
Yeah.
that can work really nicely for exclusive content.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Oh. So, what are the? Do you have tiers, or like what is the info for anybody who's interested in joining your Patreon?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for asking. I've got the Junior Detective tier, which is $5 a month. That gives you access to behind the scenes updates and exclusive polls. So like this year for the summer streamathon, the patrons and the official fellow detectives, the channel members over on YouTube, all got to vote on the order of the streams. They completely
cool.
chose the order this summer. They
Wow.
also helped me decide on the merch designs. So a lot of like just behind the scenes help with that sort of stuff. And then the $10 tier per month, the Senior Detective content, has all of the benefits of the Junior Detective, and then also has that once per month exclusive content, including the entire catalog of archived videos.
Mhm.
There's more than 20 at this point.
Okay. Wow, that is super cool.
Yeah.
All right. So, for anyone interested, where can they find that?
They can go to patreon.com/wizardkitten. We call it Mystique Manor.
Awesome. Very cool. Very cool. What? Oh no, babe, we've just started. Do you have any questions for her?
Would you rather fight?
Come in. Come in.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
Would you rather fight one horse-sized duck?
One what?
Horse-sized duck or
Horse-sized duck.
20
Okay.
duck-sized horses.
Ooh. One horse-sized duck, because then
And
I
you
have
have to
one thing
fight
I
it.
can focus on. 20 little horses sounds terrifying and overwhelming.
It does sound like a lot, but like you could kick them.
That's
They
true.
overwhelm you. That's a lot of ducks.
That's a lot. I'm worried about the swarm.
I would just be like punting little tiny horses.
Yeah.
One of these days you're gonna regret asking if I have questions for these.
Oh gosh. Okay. Why don't you go hang out somewhere else then?
Answer the question.
Wait. Okay. Sure.
So what's your answer?
He didn't hear.
Oh, he didn't hear.
Yeah.
One horse-sized duck.
There you go.
That was the phrasing. Yep.
There you
Yep.
go.
Because I have one thing to focus on.
All right. Sounds good to me. Okay, so back to better questions. Okay, so one has to go. Nancy Drew or The Sims?
Oh, that's cruel.
You had several that were like this.
Did
People were
I?
really
Oh.
into making you choose.
Oh, man. If I had to give them up, I mean, I guess it would have to be The Sims.
Yeah.
There's other games where I could get the kind of fix that I get from The Sims, like I could get the building fix from House Flipper, but there's really nothing like the Nancy Drew series. It's so unique.
Yeah, there's nothing else like it. Like there are some great games out there, but there's nothing quite like the Nancy Drew games.
Right. Even in the mystery sphere, it's not quite the same.
Yeah, I'm with you. They're in a league of their own. Like I always say that like I have favorite games, but then there's the Nancy Drew games. You know, they're in their own category, and I can't choose like other games over Nancy Drew because they have to be on their own. So like
Absolutely.
I've been saying, I've been streaming Agent A, and that's like my favorite game, but it's not in the same league as Nancy Drew. It's not in the same tier.
Right.
Yeah.
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 Even when I did my reviews and I had to grade them, like there were a couple games that got like F grades, but if I compared them to other video games in general, they would still be A's because they're Nancy Drew games. But when I compare them to each other,
Yeah.
then I have a rating.
It is so just like, I think we all kind of agree. You know, like everyone in the Clue crew is kind of like, oh, that was oh my gosh, I just got so distracted. I saw Laura say, I see what you did there, Tori, and I was like, oh, there must be a pun in the chat. She said it was not a simple question. A simple.
Aha!
That's so great.
Badoomch.
Anyway, so yeah, I think everyone in the Clue crew can agree that Nancy Drew games are their own entity and nothing is like it, and there will never be anything like it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They're truly special.
They are. Okay, where did we leave off? Oh, what has been one of your most rewarding speech therapist moments?
Oh, that's such a nice question.
No.
It actually happened last year. I had a student who had kind of a complicated history. He had a lot of trauma in his background. He was a 5th grader, and it was the first year that I worked with him. But he'd been getting speech since he was in kindergarten. So he just had kind of like a rough go with elementary, lots of family stuff that was really tough.
Yeah.
And 5th grade was where he was starting to kind of come into his own a little bit. So it was fun getting to meet him at that time in his life. But we were working on a particular sound that happened to be in his name that he had never been able to say. Like he had not been stimulable for that sound ever. And during the first week that we were working together, we managed to get the sound. And then we managed to put it in his name. And he said, I can say my name now. And to see this, like, he was like 10 or 11, to see this 10 or 11-year-old be able to say his name for the first time and like really realize like how important that was, because every time he would say his name, he would be misunderstood because he pronounced it wrong.
Yeah.
That was really special. And then he went home and told his mom about it too, and then she reported that at the meeting, and I was just like, oh, that makes me that makes me really happy.
That's so sweet. What a great story.
Yeah.
Oh,
He was a sweetheart. He's in middle school now, and I don't get to work with him anymore. It's tough when they move on.
I know. Oh, that's so sweet though. How long have you been doing that?
I believe this is my 6th year
Wow.
actively practicing, and then I had like in grad school internships and
Right.
whatnot. But
Yeah. Oh, that's such a great. Just you're sobbing in your Lunchable right now.
oh,
That's so sweet. I know. What a great story.
yeah,
Aw,
that
thank you.
was a highlight.
Thank you for telling us that. Thank you for the question, Morgan. Such a great
It's
one.
a great question.
So, have you ever shown your students any Nancy Drew?
I have told some of my older students about Nancy Drew, and kind of introduced the idea to them, or asked like, oh, have you ever read these like Nancy Drew books? Kind of like probing a little bit to
Yeah.
see if I can get some responses.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are not familiar with the books or the games. And so it hasn't really gone beyond that. I would
Yeah.
love to one day be able to integrate the Nancy Drew games into speech therapy somehow, but my sessions are so short and the games are so like complex and long that it's tricky to figure out how to do. But
Yeah.
I do have lots of little friend nieces, I guess, children of friends who we call our nieces, that one day when they're old enough, I cannot wait for Auntie Wizard Kitten to come over with the laptop and introduce them to Nancy Drew.
It's gonna be so much fun.
I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to like introducing my son to video games in general, but like particularly these, obviously. But I mean, he's not even 2 yet. But when he's ready, I'm gonna be
Someday.
like, guess what?
There's this whole world out there. You have no idea. It's gonna be so cool.
Because right now it only happens when he goes to bed. So
Yeah, right.
yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, so what is your favorite type of content to make?
Good question. Do live streams count as content?
Yeah.
I would say then the live streams, because it's really nice getting to connect with people live. I also, editing is definitely still a skill that I am continuing to work on, continuing to practice every day, but it's a lot. So I like the live streams because it's just more natural.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm with you there. I love live streaming because it's like effortless in one way.
Right.
Because like I feel like I can just kind of be myself and like do whatever. I don't have to go in and edit every single thing. But then I've just started live streaming this year.
Sure.
So there are constant and consistent mistakes and errors and technical things that I have to deal with. Like, for example, the sound issues tonight. So I was like always so frustrated. I'm like, I can't figure these things out unless I do a test before every single stream, and I can't do that.
Yeah.
So it's so frustrating, but I love live streaming.
I know what you mean. There's this added pressure when everything is live. Like, it's just so easy for things to go wrong. I've had internet issues sometimes this streamathon, and it's just like, duh, I have to stop everything and it's not working, and yeah, it can be frustrating.
Yeah, I know. Oh my gosh. I love it. I hate it, but I love it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So if money was no object, what from the Nancy Drew games would you like to bring to your life?
Ooh, if money was no object, what from the Nancy Drew games would I bring into my life? I think I would purchase either Blackmore Manor or the Golden Gardenia. But I guess if money's no object, then I can purchase both.
Yeah, there you go.
I would purchase one of those absolutely stunning homes and then probably like run a really cool bed and breakfast mystery themed experience out of those amazing houses, and then just get to explore the secret passageways every single day.
Such a good answer. I love that Nancy Drew Nerd in the chat just yelled Wickford Castle.
That one too.
Oh my
I would
gosh.
build there you go, Nancy Drew theme park. I'll take all the wonderful locations and make them real.
Oh, I would love that. Please. If the money was no object in your life, please do that for us. Thank you. Yes.
Absolutely.
Oh my word. The chat is very interesting right now. So Tori would buy Joe Hardy. What prized treasure would you secretly keep in your collection? Ooh, that's a good question. Tori, you can't buy him. Nick Falcone's cargo shorts. That's the best answer.
Love Nicholas Falcone.
I know, same.
What an icon.
Oh. Yes. All the castles, Jake's train, the jetpack, the ice cream shop and kick Tony out.
Yes. Get her out of there.
Yes.
She's the worst.
You guys, these answers are amazing. So good. Okay, so one more question, then we're going to play more FMK.
Wonderful.
How did you come up with your name, and why not Sorcerer Armadillo?
I also love Sorcerer Armadillo. That is a wonderful suggestion. It came to me by accident. I was playing Xbox with my brother. I don't own an Xbox and never have, so I was using a guest account on his Xbox. And when he signed me in, the random name it gave me was Wizard Kitten 774. And I was like, did this Xbox read my mind? Because I love magic, wizards, witchcraft, like all of that sort of stuff. And I'm obsessed with cats. So I was just like, okay, fine, Wizard Kitten it is.
Amazing. Oh, that's so funny. Yeah, I thought it was a random generator, but that's a lot like my Xbox name from when I was a child. It was not a random one, but okay, so this is for a moment. This is spilling the tea with younger Susie, okay? So there was a movie. It was terrible. It was a really, really crap movie. But it was called Zoom Academy for Superheroes, and it was starring Tim Allen. Okay. So it was about superheroes, and there was a scene where he's like coming up with names for these like teenagers who were superheroes.
Okay.
And one of the names was for a girl who could do like telekinesis, and he was like just kind of like done with the whole process, and he was like, I don't know, you're mental chick. So fast forward, me and my brother have seen this movie now. Fast forward to we're playing, it may have been PlayStation at this point, and I needed to have like a guest profile on his PlayStation. And so he was like trying to come up with a name for me and just couldn't figure it out. So he remembered this scene and he goes, fine, you're mental chick.
Oh
so,
my gosh, perfect.
To this day, I still have the PS2 and the Xbox that belonged to us as children.
Yes.
If I ever play any console games, my name is Mental Chick.
I love that so much, and that's such a great name.
Oh, it was horrible. It was horrible. So yeah, has anyone seen that movie? Because I feel like it was a experience that maybe only I had.
Like you imagined it?
Was
this a dream? Yeah.
It had so many stars in it, though. I think
Tim Allen was in it.
What's her name from Friends? Who played Monica? Whose name
Susie
is
should be
Oh.
sleeping.
Oh,
No.
What is her
How
actual name?
about Lilo should be sleeping?
I oftentimes only remember the names of the characters and not the actual actors.
I know, same. So, yeah, anyway, so enough with that. So there you guys go. Get to learn a little bit about me. Okay, so let's play some more Fight, Marry, Kiss, and let's hope that you get some better characters. Let's see. Alright, so Henry Bullet.
Okay.
We're
That's
already
solid.
starting out stronger. Courtney Cox, oh my gosh, thank you. Yes. Oh gosh. I need to take him off the list. We cannot keep getting Lucas Mittelmeyer in our FMK because he is a minor.
Yep, nope.
Forget that. I'm gonna get you another second guy. John Gray.
Okay.
Decent. Yeah.
Yeah,
I like
that
him.
is solid.
Yeah.
Easily the best person on that train, besides like Frank, Joe, and Nancy.
Yeah. Taylor Sinclair.
Taylor Sinclair. Not Taylor Sinclair. Okay, well, I'm obviously fighting Taylor Sinclair.
Yeah.
Man's trying to push me in a monolith. Not cool.
Seriously.
But between Henry and John, I'm gonna marry John Gray, and I will kiss Henry Bullet.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
John Gray is a catch.
I think he's a lot more stable. I'm already a very emotional person, and so is Henry, and so that might, like, we might feed off of one another a little bit too much. I think John Gray is nice and stable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm with you. However, I have to disagree because I love sad boys.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Totally fair.
Yeah. I would have to kiss John because he's great, but me and Henry, man, just
Absolutely fair. The
Taking
number
it
of
back
times I
to,
want to hug him in that game,
I know.
astronomical.
I know. You just want to love him.
Yeah.
He just deserves it.
Because he needs love. He hasn't been loved enough. Poor guy.
I know. Summer didn't know what she had.
Mm-mm. Summer's the worst.
That's the tea right there.
It is.
Summer did not know what she had.
Mm-mm.
Okay. So, what is your favorite Nancy Drew location that you've built in The Sims 4?
Okay. Well, I guess the Canute Farmhouse recreation is my favorite.
Yeah.
And then, like, inspired location. There was a Sea of Darkness inspired build that I did that I really enjoyed because I just got to lean into the Hyuga aesthetic a lot. And I love building in that aesthetic. It's very cozy and warm and makes me happy. So
I
that
love
one.
that.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. What is your favorite non-Nancy Drew game?
Besides The Sims, probably.
Yeah.
Let's see. Right now, like present times, I'm playing a lot of Disney Dreamlight Valley.
Same.
Yeah. But like Lifetime, Breath of the Wild,
Good choice.
probably. Yeah.
Good choice. So, how did you first find out about Nancy Drew games?
I was gifted them. So my aunt for Christmas one year when I was, I believe, like 7, gifted me both the Final Scene and Ghost Dogs. And I tried them right away. Like I said, I played Ghost Dogs, got a little too scared. And it was kind of hard for me at the time, so I took a break for a few years. And then when I returned, played Final Scene again, and then was hooked ever since.
Nice. Oh, that's so excellent.
Yeah.
So, how old did you say you were?
I was about 7 when I was gifted and attempted the Nancy Drew games, and I'm pretty sure I was 11 when I actually like started playing them and went into the future with everyone.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It was similar for me. I was like 6, I think, when I first played. Yeah. Okay, so okay, so if you could live in any house from the Nancy Drew games, which one would you choose?
This is such a good question. Something I think about a lot. There's a lot of Nancy Drew locations that I love and I think are absolutely beautiful, but I could never, ever live in them because I would be terrified the whole time.
Yeah.
So, like Blackmore Manor, couldn't do it. Who knows what's going on in those passageways at any given moment. Golden Gardenia, totally haunted. Couldn't do it.
Literally.
So when I think about it that way, I'm looking at I have all my games over there, so I'm going through my head. I honestly think it would probably be Icicle Creek Lodge.
Ooh, good choice.
Because that building is not haunted.
Not haunted.
And it's in a beautiful natural setting, which is something I need in any place I'm going to live. So
that place is gorgeous. And
Yeah.
it's so cozy.
absolutely.
Oh,
It's probably great in the summer too. And since it's Canada, it wouldn't be too hot. Like it'd be good for me.
So such a good choice. So beautiful. Love it. Okay, so this question, I feel like maybe I'm behind on the times because I don't know why they asked this specifically. So
Okay.
maybe there is something that I'm missing here in this.
Okay.
But they want to know what your second and third favorite Nancy Drew games are, and I was like, why not your first as well?
Maybe I'm just so vocal about my warnings at Waverly Academy love that they're like, I don't even need to bother.
That's got to be it. Yes.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, Waverly is my number 1. Ghost Dogs of Moon Lake is my number 2. And right now, and on my official ranking, Ghost of Thornton Hall is my number 3.
Great list.
Yeah.
Mm.
I love the like spooky dark academia.
Oh,
Yeah.
So good. I also love Waverly, so I appreciate that. Because sometimes people absolutely hate Waverly, and I just don't understand them. So thank you.
Absolutely. I've heard people say that the girl drama is just, it hits a little too close to home, but that's why I love it.
I do
Because
too.
there's more like power and control in the game where it's just like, you're the worst, Izzy. Something about it where it's just like, yeah, I don't know. It feels safer in the game
Yeah.
and very realistic.
Yeah, that game is so cozy as well. I love the cozy vibe.
Yeah.
The snow, the cello, the
gosh.
snack shop.
Yes, I'm obsessed with the snack shop. The seasons changing is the best. I don't think there's any other Nancy Drew game where the actual scenery changes, and that's just so beautiful.
Oh, I know. I love it so much. They really ought to do that more.
They really should. Yeah.
So, if you had to live in one Nancy Drew game and one non-Nancy Drew game for the rest of your life, which ones are they?
Okay. Does this include all of the events that happen in the game would also be like happening in my life?
I don't know.
Because if that's the case, I want to say Ghost Dogs of Moon Lake because it's very nostalgic and that's basically the exact kind of environment that I grew up in.
Yeah.
I need to be near lakes. I need to be near
Yeah.
trees and woods. It's something that I just need.
Mm-hmm.
So either Ghost Dogs of Moon Lake or White Wolf of Icicle Creek. White Wolf, if the ghost dogs are still around. If the ghost dogs are not actively hunting, then I would stay in Sally's cabin.
But like, if the events of the game are going on, then Nancy
Right.
will eventually show up and fix everything, and then you won't have to
This
worry
is
about them
true.
anymore.
This is true. And then they're just cute little Rotties. So
Exactly.
yeah, I
And
can
who doesn't
handle
love that?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And free dogs. Non-Nancy Drew game that I would live in. I would probably live. You know what? I'd live in Disney Dreamlight Valley.
Yes.
It would just be a really pleasant little place to live.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about Dreamlight Valley for a moment.
Let's.
So, do you have a villager that you just absolutely can't stand?
Oh, funny. I'm guessing you do.
So, a lot of people do. I really don't
Interesting.
have. I mean, okay, there are some people that I would prefer not to have.
Sure.
But
Sure.
there are some people in like the Dreamlight Valley groups that I'm in who just hate Maui with a burning passion.
Oh, that's so funny. Because
Yeah.
when I was thinking about, like, if I had to pick someone, who would I say? It probably would be Maui, purely because he is, like, always blocking things.
so huge.
He's so big. And the hook is so huge that wherever he puts it, it's just, like, in the way.
It's, yeah, ridiculous.
Yeah. Yep. And there's characters that I just don't resonate with as much, that it's just like I didn't really need Vanellope in the game. She's fun, she's cute, but it's like, wasn't someone I was holding out for.
Yeah.
But I can't say that there's any that I'm actively like, oh my gosh, can I kick you out of my valley?
I would kick out Scar if I could. I don't want him.
Sure, sure.
He's
It's so
always trying to
interesting
eat
how
my
they do the
villagers.
villains. Yeah, he does.
I
Yeah,
hate
the
it.
balance with the villains is interesting because it's just like, okay, but they're evil though, so
Literally. When
Yeah.
I welcomed Simba and Nala, they were like, wait, I'm sorry, Scar is already here? And I was like,
Yeah.
yeah I know.
yeah, Simba was just like, oh, I'm like scared, and I'm like, yeah, I bet he
Yeah.
inflicted a lot of trauma on you.
Yeah, I understand. He killed your
Yeah.
dad. So,
Worst uncle award.
literally. But Scar is a great villain. Yes, you're right, Tori. But that doesn't mean that I want him living next door to me.
hmm Potentially eating the squirrels, like, yeah.
Literally, all of his, like, things that you have to do for him are always like, well, I'm hungry and you won't let me eat your villagers, so why don't you go make me some food? And I
Yep.
just hate that so much.
And then whenever he's in Remy's restaurant, I don't know for you, but he often will order vegetarian things in Remy's restaurant. And I'm just like, you hypocrite. You're fine with salads.
Oh my gosh. I love how like everything is so randomized.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, why are you doing what you're doing right now?
I love when they stand on the cliffs and like stare into the abyss. It's like, are you okay?
I know. Oh, I just got Beauty and the Beast yesterday, I guess,
Yeah.
or the day before, and I welcomed Beast into the valley, and he immediately goes and stands in in Wally's garden, which I have in like the plaza,
Sure.
and he's just overlooking the peaceful meadow, just like kind of hunched over, and I was like, are you okay?
Poor thing. And he's always like, there's so many people here. I'm not used to this. And it's like, buddy, I get it.
I know. Aw. I haven't gotten very far in their like paths yet,
Yeah.
but I'm really
same.
hoping that we can like help him get through and like become human, maybe.
I was going to say that. I'm really curious if we're going to see his Adam form, because everyone else is at the end of their stories, but he's still the Beast. So, like...
Yeah, so he's still, like, trying to get to know Belle.
Yeah.
But we had that, like, that painting of the memory of them in the snow with the birds.
Right.
So, like, we're clearly, like, halfway through the movie.
Right.
So we're like, they're friends now, they care about each other, but they haven't gotten to the point of, like, no return.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really interesting.
I was a little bit confused.
You're a real Snoopy Susie, aren't you?
Carter.
What was that? Carter.
Carter, did you know that that terrifies me every time somebody redeems it? Okay, so anyway.
Susie should be sleeping?
Oh, yes.
No.
That's much
How
more
about Lilo should be sleeping?
Okay, anyway, so I love Dreamlight Valley, obviously, so.
Such a good game.
Such a good game. Okay, where were we? Oh, what is your current music fixation?
Ooh. Right now, Taylor Swift, specifically all of the Vault tracks. And this is because my followers have recently enlightened me as to all of the wonderful songs that are in the vaults that I have not really listened to. So I'm going back, listening to the vault tracks and trying to really get to know them. I'm starting with Speak Now, and then I'm going to do Fearless and then Red. But there's some good stuff in there.
Nice. You know, I've been really sleeping on those because I feel like I'm just so busy that I never listen to music. So, I'm sorry, Carter. It was not your fault. Yeah, so I really need to go and listen to more of those because I haven't actually gotten any of the new stuff yet. So,
Sure.
yeah.
And I honestly got overwhelmed when she like released the album and all the vault tracks, because it's like a whole other album. There's 10 to 12
Insane.
songs.
Yeah.
And I wanted to listen to the songs that I knew and loved first and really digest those. So yeah, I just haven't gotten around to them, but it's time now. It's time.
Yeah. Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, and then what's your favorite type of tea? Literal and metaphorical.
Literal is this jasmine tea that I'm drinking right now. This stuff is fantastic. I do also love a good chai. Chai is also delightful. My favorite figurative tea. I feel like in general, drama and tea can really stress me out. So I like the tea that is like completely harmless, that it's just like a secret that somebody has that's just like they've never told anyone before. That's my favorite kind of tea, because then it's just like fun getting to know someone, but it's not gonna like hurt anyone or anything like that.
Oh, so like finding out that I used to be called Mental Chick.
Exactly like that. That is the perfect kind of tea.
Well, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Spilling the tea on the tea. That's right. Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh, Carter was sassing Tori. Oh, okay. Good. Good to hear. Okay, cool. All right. So, what random facts have you learned from Nancy Drew games that you use all the time? And what about Nancy Drew quotes that you say all the time?
Oh, so many of both. Let's see. Information. I learned a lot from Secret of the Scarlet Hand. There was... So I'm a speech language pathologist, but my first major was architecture. So I went to architecture school for a semester, and one of my first classes was art history, and we started with kind of like prehistory art history. So I felt pretty cool being able to like share some like fun facts about the Maya, like the crossed eyes and jade and all of these things that we were learning about in class. It's like I already knew that because of Nancy Drew.
Oh yes, the Maya loved jade.
Yes, yep, exactly. As far as Nancy Drew quotes that I say all the time, it's a lot of like the hellos and the goodbyes. A lot of the ways that the characters will say hello and goodbye is how I will like often say goodbye to students. They don't know why I'm saying goodbye to them that way. It's an inside joke for me, but it's fun.
What are some that you typically do?
Let's see. I mean, Semper Ubi Sububi is a classic.
Yes.
That's a classic. Don't take any wooden nickels.
That's a good one.
trying to think of them off the top of my head. They sort of just come to me a lot of the time.
Yeah. I actually have a funny story about Semper Ubi Sububi. So
Oh, great.
my best friend has not really well, one of my best friends, I will say. I have two. One is very into Nancy Drew games and one has never played them.
Sure.
So she's not like, I started her with one of the games, but she hasn't really like played yet.
Gotcha.
But she had no idea that that was something that I knew. So she was telling me about how one of her friends like learned Latin and would always say Semper Ubi Sububi, and I was like, oh yeah, always wear underwear. And she was like, do you speak Latin? And I was like, no.
What a coincidence. Oh my gosh.
I thought it was so funny, but like,
That is hilarious.
there are some times when Nancy Drew things come into real life and I'm just like, oh yes, I know what this phrase means in Latin. Oh, I know how to use a lathe, you know?
Yeah, but I know what a lathe is, like, which I feel like a lot of people don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. They're
I love
super
it.
educational, these games. I love it.
They sure are. No, when my husband got a lathe, he was like, do you want to learn how to lathe? And I was like, I know how to lathe.
Yeah.
And then I used a lathe.
I did it in the haunted carousel.
Yeah. Literally. No, it actually went quite well. So
That's
I was
good,
really
good.
pleased.
You remember to put on your safety glasses
did.
so the wood didn't give you a second chance?
Yes, I did. I wore safety goggles, and is 1-800-Mystico one? Am I making this up?
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
1-800. It was.
Prepare to be amazed.
1555 Mystico.
Yeah.
Yes.
Call 1555 Mystico.
Yes.
Prepare to be amazed. Yeah.
Yes. There you go. So you weren't making that up. You say, did that, and still have to do that.
Oh,
to
yeah.
do this at work. Yes. That's so good. Hotchkiss is rock and roll, dear. Is great.
That's a great one.
So good.
Cluck,
Aw.
cluck.
Oh, and then here's the part where somebody just literally said, Henrik, I need to know where you put the skull carving.
Which is amazing.
So good.
Two possible answers. You're asking the wrong amnesiac, and I can't remember.
So good. Okay, so how did you get into streaming?
It sort of happened by accident. I started by making Nancy Drew walkthrough videos because I was looking just for like a new way to play the Nancy Drew games, just to kind of like spice up my own gameplay. And I started posting the walkthroughs, and then March 2020 hit, and I suddenly had a lot more free time on my hands because I was working from home. So I started streaming the games. I think I started on Twitch with the first couple, and then people said YouTube was a little bit easier for them, so then I just started doing them on YouTube, and the rest is history.
Nice. Oh,
Yeah.
that's so fun.
Yeah.
Do you have an absolute favorite line from the Nancy Drew games that's like above and beyond the best one for you?
It's less a line, but the poem in Message in a Haunted Mansion on the tapestry, I just think is so beautiful. It, absolutely. It's just like so magical and so beautiful and hits all the nostalgia. I'm obsessed with it.
Can you recite it by memory?
No, I might not get it word perfect, but like the rhythm of it for sure. Listen,
Yeah.
my child, to the story of dreams. Remember, the beginning is more difficult than it seems. When the 10 daughters are reunited in order, when the four-sided box loses its border, when the eye of the phoenix is in your hand, when the bird of fire can see again, when the moon sleeps and the sun plays, the king of the sky will shine his rays. This is the one I always mess up. And beneath it's like river?
Uh-huh.
Beneath a river of colors will lie a gate to golden wonders.
There
Is
you
that
go.
it? Okay. It's the river one that always gets me.
Yeah, it's hidden beneath, I think.
Hidden beneath
Yeah.
a river
Of
colors?
Colors, yeah.
Is it colors? Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Because
It's
rainbow,
the rainbow,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
beautiful.
Nancy Drew Nerd on Instagram had just asked not too long ago, like, if anybody, I think it was her at least, if anybody could recite it by memory, and I was like, yeah, I got you.
Yes. It helps that I just played it last night, so it's very fresh in my
Yeah.
brain, but
Yeah. Oh, I loved that. So, which Nancy Drew game character do you think would be the best sim in The Sims 4?
ooh, the best sim. This is a good question. I feel like in order to be like a good sim, they've got to have a little bit of lore. They've got to be a little bit interesting, and they've got to get up to some kind of silly antics. They've got to be pretty social because otherwise you're not going to run into them a whole lot. You've got to see them at all of like the community lots. Hotchkiss or Tino Belducci, I think.
Ooh, those are good.
Yeah, because they would both be very active and very present. I could see Hotchkiss doing some weird stuff, and I could see Tino just being his wonderful, obnoxious self. So,
For sure.
yeah, could have
For
a lot of fun
sure.
with either of them.
Yeah. Our Sully wants Mel. That's a good one.
Yeah,
Mhm. You know who I would choose?
I would
Big
love
Island
to know.
Mike.
Mr. Wizard Kitten's favorite character.
Really?
He's played 2 Nancy Drew games because I forced him to, and he has seen Big Island Mike on the screen, and he's like, that guy's my favorite character. He has no idea about him, absolutely no clue, but yeah, he is a Big Island Mike fan.
That is so great. Oh, I love it. Or Lori, Bess. Oh, another Bess. Minette. Another Bess. Yes. Oh my gosh. So good. Okay, so time for FMK.
Wonderful. Be nice to me, Wheel.
Let's see. Hopefully we get better characters in the first one. Okay, so Henrik Vanderhoen.
Ooh.
I love Henrik Vanderhoen.
I have a little bit of a crush on Henrik Vanderhoen.
Same, I call him Handsome Vanderhunk.
Right?
That's so good.
Nigel.
And finally, Frank Hardy.
Oh. Frank Hardy is my biggest Nancy Drew crush.
Oh.
That's why I don't like Nancy and Frank, because Frank is for me. Also, Ned and Nancy are perfect for each other, but so I've got to marry Frank Hardy.
Yeah.
Because he's amazing. He's absolutely perfect. He's extremely handsome, extremely intelligent. He's got a huge heart, and I just love how principled he is too. Great guy.
Love him.
I got so distracted by Frank Hardy that I forgot who the other two are. Nigel Mukherjee and
Nigel
Henrik.
and
Oh, and Henrik. Oh, I do love Henrik though. Okay, I'm fighting Nigel because he's obnoxious, and I am kissing Henrik Vanderhoen.
Yeah. I feel like that's the only correct answer.
I think so.
Yeah. Everyone is for sure marrying Frank. Yep. Oh. Frank wipes the floor. I know who everyone's gonna marry. Yeah, everyone's agreeing with you.
Yeah, yeah. I think it is the only possible answer.
That's. There are no other answers.
Yeah, once Frank is in there,
It's so good.
the others don't stand a chance.
Okay, so would you rather be a voice actor for an NPC or have your picture in a game?
Ooh, voice actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, yep. I was a theater kid. I love acting. I would be a voice actor in a second.
That's super cool.
Mm.
You could speak into a tin can and say, "Why
I
are
sure
there protesters
could.
in a small town like this?"
Why are there protesters in a small town like this?
That's what I would want to do at least.
Best character in Midnight in Salem.
Literally. Are there any characters in the Nancy Drew games that give you the ick?
Colin Baxter.
Yeah.
He reminds me too much of a guy who I went on one date with in college and wouldn't let it go when I said it wasn't working for me, and it just can't do it. Gives me the ick.
Yeah. No, I get it. That's intense.
Yeah.
So what got you into doing your analysis videos?
So I finished all of my walkthroughs, and then the next kind of natural step was just, well, I should rank the Nancy Drew games now. I finished all of the walkthroughs. I should put together a ranking video. And I just kind of realized that people really enjoyed that kind of content, that ranking videos especially were a lot of fun to make, and that people really enjoyed them. So then I just kind of started ranking other things about the Nancy Drew games, like the top 10 characters, the top worst puzzles. And once I kind of exhausted a lot of like the ranking stuff, then I started to get into more niche stuff, like ranking all of the cooking puzzles or the deeper meaning of Danger on Deception Island, those kinds of things. Yeah.
I love that. Wait a second. Marrying Henrik means you get access to an expert in the Maya. Great for history nerds.
True.
Yeah.
Henrik van der Hoon is a wonderful person.
I
would absolutely marry him if Frank Hardy wasn't also an option.
Totally. And Maple Paint Tube thinks that Rentaro gives the ick.
Yeah. It's like the first time I played the game, I was like totally huge Rentaro fan because he's so funny. He's
so
just
great,
such a great character. But yeah, once you know what's going on and you replay the games, it's just like, oh, too many red flags.
Yeah, there's a lot of red flags there.
Yeah.
So, what got you... No, that's the question I just answered. Who is your favorite non-playable sim from The Sims 4?
Ooh. It's funny because I've been playing a legacy challenge where I'm now on generation 19, so I haven't seen NPCs in a long time. But I like Bob Pancakes. I feel for Bob, and I appreciate his dream to lounge around and eat pancakes all day. That sounds like a nice goal.
Yeah, literally. When you said you haven't seen any NPCs in a while, I was like, well, just go with one of the pancakes and be done with it.
Yep, exactly.
Susie should be sleeping? No. How about
So,
Lilo should be sleeping?
what is your comfort game?
Ooh. Probably Warnings at Waverly Academy. It's my favorite for a reason. I mean, we talked about it. The atmosphere is amazing. The library is beautiful. I love literature. Edgar Allan Poe is fantastic. The snack shop is wonderful. There's just so many things I love about it. Mel's my favorite character. So,
Yeah. What Nancy Drew character would you switch places with if you could?
I switch places with. I feel like Jenna has a nice situation going on. Jenna Devlin in Danger on Deception Island.
Yeah.
Like getting to own a cute little cafe, live in Snakehorse Harbor, that beautiful area. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
a
Jenna
great-
Devlin.
I love Jenna. She is. I would be besties with her if I could.
Yeah, she's a lot of fun.
Speaking of that, who would be your Nancy Drew game character bestie and enemy?
Ooh, okay. My bestie would be Ellie York from The Deadly Device. I've had a lot of people say she's so boring, she's so forgettable. She's like my personality. So I feel like I would just get along with her so well because just the anxiety, the perfectionism, the kind of bittersweet melancholy feeling, I would just I feel like I would connect with Ellie on such a deep level where it'd be she would just get it. She would just understand.
Yeah.
And then my enemy, that was the other
Your
one?
enemy, yeah.
Okay, now I gotta think about my enemy. Who am I most frustrated with?
Okay, so Maple Paint Tube said that in some of the crossover books, they try to put Frank with George and Joe with Bess and keep Nancy with Ned. So maybe those are the ideal pairings. And I appreciate that they brought that up because I've always liked that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. That could work.
Yeah. And also, Tori says that her bestie would be Joe and her enemy would be Taylor's tie.
Those are
Love
good
Tori.
ones. Oh gosh, I'm trying to think because there's so many obnoxious characters, but I empathize with them still because I can tell why they're obnoxious, and it's usually low self-esteem. So it's just there's holes to poke there, but who's obnoxious and just beyond help? Maybe Tony Scolari.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go with Tony Scolari because she's such a realistic bad person, where
Yes.
she's just kind of like manipulative but pretending like she's a nice person.
Yes.
Yeah.
I totally agree. Tony's a very realistic, like this is a person we all have in our lives.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. And like actively doing the bad things behind the scene while pretending that she's just like the savior of this community. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah, I'm totally with you there. Ugh.
Yeah.
Carter says Daryl Gray.
Daryl Gray. I have contacts that help me see beautiful women.
OG or remastered, Carter? That's important.
Mm-hmm.
First
Important
Daryl?
Clarification.
The bad one, he says.
The bad one.
I know what you mean. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. What else? What does your ideal weekend look like?
Ooh, ideal weekend. I'm a big introvert, so my ideal weekend includes a lot of quiet, relaxing activities. Wake up in the morning, have a nice breakfast, cup of coffee, play a cozy game of some sort. Disney Dreamlight Valley currently is my nice cozy game. Going on a nice walk. I love hiking. I prefer when it's not hot. So fall hikes preferred if I'm going to choose like my ideal weekend. And then it's pretty similar into the evening, like maybe hanging out with Mr. Wizard Kitten and playing a round of Villainous, or watching a movie, or playing a Nancy Drew game, playing Sims. There's something chill. Yeah.
Oh, I love Villainous.
Yeah, it's so good. We do tournaments.
Oh, wow.
Where we go through every single one. We make a bracket. Yeah, it's intense.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's very fun.
Oh, I love that. So, if you could have the job of any Nancy Drew character, what would you do?
Ooh, the job of any Nancy Drew character. Let's see, what would be closest? I definitely like think in another life that I would have been like a marine biologist, especially specializing in marine mammals specifically. So I think Katie Firestone has a really great gig. I would also love to run a bed and breakfast. I think that is such a cozy idea and so super fun. So Rose and Abby know what they're doing there.
Oh, yeah.
Those are probably the top two if I got to pick.
I love that.
Yeah.
Similarly, if you could have any job in general, what would you be doing? And would it be what you're doing now?
Good question. If I could, I would do YouTube full time. I would. I love this. I love doing the Nancy Drew stuff, all the Sims things. I would 100% do this full time. I do love being a speech therapist. As I get older, though, I'm just realizing the amount of energy that the job takes is not always the amount of energy that I can give. And so I end up feeling very burnt out most of the time. A lot of that is because of just job constraints being really tough in education right now, and expectations being really tough. But also it's just like the emotional labor of the job too.
I totally understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is difficult out there in the teaching realm right now.
Yes.
Yeah, my husband just left his job as a teacher because it just became too much. So totally get it. So I understand.
Yeah.
So on a lighter note, what was your favorite moment from your Adventure Nancy Streamathon?
Oh, so many. And I think every single stream, because we were doing the Adventure Nancy theme, where I was trying to do things out of order and like be more spontaneous with how I played it, because I usually go in exactly the same order every single time I play. I experienced conversations that I don't think I've ever seen in the Nancy Drew games before.
Yeah.
Despite having played each game over 20 times. So I think that was my favorite collective part of the Streamathon. I don't know if I could pinpoint one single conversation.
Yeah.
Because they were all just so cool. I just love when that happens.
Yeah.
So each time I discovered a new conversation that I've never heard before, always made me very happy.
Oh, I love that. A lot of people on Wizard Kitten community are teachers. Yeah.
Mhm.
A lot of Clue Crew members in general are in the teaching roles, and I
Yeah.
love that. Thank you guys so
Yeah.
much for all
Lots of
that you do.
educators. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite video that you've made?
Favorite video? It's probably my honest review of Midnight in Salem. I think that was the first time. I mean, I'd ranked the Nancy Drew games before, but that was the first time that I really expressed what I felt like were more, not controversial, because most of us pretty much agree on Midnight in Salem.
Yeah.
I guess like very opinionated.
Yeah.
That was the first time I really got to like be a little bit more sassy Wizard Kitten, which is one of my favorite things to do. And it was just fun putting that review together too. I really wanted to put it together in a way where it came across as constructive criticism, because I felt like it could have been so good and it just was not. And so I was really proud of putting it together as an argument instead of just like complaining about all the things that I hated about it. I really wanted to do it justice, and I was really pleased with how that one turned out.
Yeah. Oh, I super appreciate that, because so as an admin of the Facebook group, can I just say that I appreciate so much when people give constructive criticism and don't just complain.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yup.
So I love for everyone to have all of their opinions. I want you to be able to share your opinions. However, please
Yeah.
don't just rip into everything to the point that you're like bullying the members of Her Interactive's team.
Right.
Thank
Yeah.
you. That's all I have to say.
Yup. Like I had a lot of kind of hurt feelings, for lack of a better word, with how the whole rollout of Midnight in Salem went. And I wanted to try and word that really respectfully and carefully, because a lot of it I know wasn't on purpose. A lot of it was just kind of how things happened with how difficult it was and unanticipated difficulties. But it's like, but also this needs to be said, because if we want the games to be good and we want them to continue, then something does need to change. So
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I know. Oh, speaking of members of the Her Interactive team, Squid has entered the chat.
Hello, Squid.
Squid, nice to see you. We were just talking about you guys. Love it. Hello everyone. Good to see you guys. Okay, so so Squid, I heard that some things were happening in the comments on your recent post, and I haven't seen it because I've been very busy, but I heard, and I know exactly what you're talking about, so everyone, my ears were burning. Yes! Good to see you, bestie. All right, so where did we leave off? Oh, it's time for FMK.
Ooh, yay!
All right. Let's see.
I'm switching to water, so I'm joining you now, Susie.
I'm gonna have water the whole time. I really thought I could like lie to you guys and like have a mug. Okay, listen, Brian Party can't come up twice, so we're gonna do another person.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
It's meant to be then. If he came up twice, then he and I are meant to be. Like...
we'll see that because you get Richard Topham.
Oh no! Oh no!
Susie should be
It'd be
sleeping.
hard to fight anyone
No.
besides him.
How about Lilo should be sleeping?
Alex Bell.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's a good one.
Yeah, I love a good accent.
Me too. Alright, I swear to God, if you get like Dylan Carter, I'm gonna be so jealous. No, Hugh Pendleton.
Hugh Penvelin. Oh, Hugh. Oh, Hugh. Your whole family needs to go to therapy, Hugh. Oh,
Just don't marry him because you're gonna get into way too much trouble.
Oh. Well, I gotta marry Alec Fell.
Yeah.
He's super handsome. He's got the amazing voice. We honestly don't know, like, anything about him, but he's super charming. So I'm hoping that, like, that continues.
Yes.
I would, kiss Hugh Penvelin and fight Richard Topham.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
I think you've hit on the exact right order again.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I just want to point out that so Morgan pointed out that the color of your water bottle makes it look like you're drinking out of a fire extinguisher, and I thought that last night when I was watching your stream, and I really thought that you just brought a fire extinguisher out.
This is my fire extinguisher. It keeps me hydrated.
I mean, really though, if you unscrew the cap and you pour it, it's a fire extinguisher.
This is true. It is. It's very true. It's a half gallon, so it does look like a fire extinguisher.
It's
That's
quite
totally
large,
fair. Yeah.
I love that. Okay, so wait, what is this? Marry Alec and kiss Hugh just so I can get the manor once.
There you go.
There you go. Wait. Laura wants to marry Topham and reverse steal his monies.
Oh, she's pulling a con. Good plan.
Wow.
Con the con man. I like it.
Okay, Goodwin wants you to marry him so that you can force him into therapy. Hugh actually looks handsome in his wedding photo. Yeah, but you know, there's a lot more to FMK than just a handsome face.
Mm-hmm. That's why we kiss, because handsome face, but relationship material? I don't know.
Precisely. Everyone's swinging at Richard Topham. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Caitlyn's prepared for when someone tries to frame her for arson. Yes.
I am.
Awesome.
No alibi and ashes for me.
If you marry Hugh, you get Jane as a stepdaughter. So I know. I would avoid Hugh at all costs.
Yeah.
Ugh. Amazing. Okay, we're on our last page of questions.
Okay.
Okay. What's
This
the
has been
first...
so fun.
I know. What's the first PC game you remember playing?
Ooh, the first PC game I remember playing. I don't think I'm going to be able to recall the exact first one. I'm going to go back as far as I can in my memory because there's like a collective group of games that I remember playing very early on.
Yeah.
And I'm going to forget its name. It was like Treasure Seekers or something like that. And it was this series of logic puzzle games from Scholastica. I think it was called Treasure Seekers.
Okay.
But it was so fun. My mom was a elementary school teacher, so when students placed Scholastic orders, she got a bunch of bonus rewards, and so she was able to purchase a bunch of games for us for free through Scholastic. So we got all of these really fun educational games, and that was basically my computer diet growing up was Freddy Fish, Hugley Sleepover. Lots of math games.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so fun.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. People are talking about their first ones too in the chat.
There's so many good ones.
A Barbie one, Kid Picks, Putt Putt, Magic School Bus in Space.
Fun.
I love
I had a Little Mermaid game once.
Oh,
SimCity.
yes.
Yeah.
Carmen Sandiego, you guys.
Oh yeah, of course.
Yes. Although the very first game that I remember playing, I've never been able to find out exactly what it was, and I went to Reddit of I forget what subreddit it was. It was one of those ones where like people help you figure out what something was.
Oh, cool.
And people were not able to help me figure out what it was. So
Interesting.
yeah, I don't know what it was, but it was about a dog, and I remember exactly what the cartoon like style looked like.
Sure.
So everybody sent me all their guesses, and I told them the exact time frame that it would have been and everything, and like what PC it was on.
Yeah.
And nobody found it, so I will never
Wow.
know. Yeah.
It's the Zoom movie all over again. These hidden gems.
I have way too many things that I've seen or done that only I have experienced. Now I'm starting to wonder.
I love
Casey
it.
says, wait, Susie. Do you know what it is?
Oh,
Oh, that would be really cool.
maybe we'll get the answer.
That would be really cool. What do you remember from it? So it was about a little white dog with brown spots, if I remember right. And I barely remember gameplay, but I know that he was walking around a little neighborhood, and I remember it was very cartoony, and there were like houses and white picket fences and
That
grass
sounds
and a
so
sidewalk.
familiar.
And You also remember an obscure dog one? Oh, interesting. Okay. I don't remember at all what the plot was. I just remember that there was a little dog and you walked around a neighborhood.
Yeah.
So it wasn't any of the dogs games.
Yeah.
It wasn't. There were a lot of games that people sent me that it
Sure.
was not those. So
Interesting.
it was not the 101 Dalmatians game. Yeah. So
Oh wait, Richard Scarry. That I think was my very first game. It was a yellow box. It was a Richard Scarry game, and we could only play it on my grandpa's super old computer. We couldn't even play it on ours because that's how old the game was.
that's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember
That's the one I
Richard
think.
Scarry. That
Mm-hmm.
was like deep in my subconscious memory.
Yes, exactly.
The dogs game was your first guess. Well, it wasn't. I'm positive it wasn't that. The like animation style was very different from what I remember.
Sure.
Yeah. So next question is, have you ever met any members of the Clue Crew in real life?
I don't think so. No one, not that I know of, at least. But that would be super cool. Oh yeah, absolutely. I always wonder when I'm wearing my merch or if I go to like a more public place, like if I'm at an airport or something, like what are the chances that I could run into someone here? But yeah.
Yeah.
Not yet.
People have been getting together a lot from the Clue Crew lately, and I've been feeling really left out because I'm like nowhere near anybody. So
Sure.
You remember picking out a dog breed, naming it, and there was something about a dog being on a ship and having to get flowers to save its sick sister or something. Wow, I don't know what that game is, but it sounds obscure.
It's so fun describing games because it's just like, okay, that's a plot. That's interesting.
Yeah, there's a dog on a ship and his sister's sick.
Yeah, he's got flowers. It's
Yeah.
all coming together.
That's so funny. You don't know how much of that is real, though. I don't know. I can't really attest to that. Yeah, but anyway, so we're I'm planning a Clue Crew get together for like
Fun.
probably 2025.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because I was thinking about 2024, but other things are happening in 2024, and I feel like
Sure.
maybe I should push it off for a
So you're
better
talking like an event, like
Oh,
big gathering.
I'm talking like I'm going to get a hotel block, and
Wow.
we can all stay, and like there'll be a like a convention center at the hotel
Oh my
that we can just like
goodness.
all hang out in one public space together, and
How
anybody
cool
who
would that
has
be?
merch can like bring their merch to sell, and you know.
Yeah.
I also want to my sister writes murder mysteries, like murder mystery
Cool.
parties.
Oh
So
my
I'm
gosh,
going to pay
fun.
her to write us a Clue Crew murder mystery, and yeah, it's gonna be really fun.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah. So, and 2024 is literally in 2 seconds. Yeah, exactly. I don't know if I can pull this together as quickly as I was hoping to. So
That'd be a big project.
yes. So hashtag be chill 2025 because it's gonna be in DC. So.
Oh, cool. Very
Yeah.
cool.
Okay, so next question is, what are you hoping to see in Key? Who is your favorite character that they have showed us so far?
Good question. I'll be honest, I haven't really connected with any of the characters that they've shown so far. I feel like they've given us like so little of the characters that it's hard for me to like make a judgment about whether there's going to be enough story associated with them for me to like truly like them as a character. I like the look of the characters so far. For Mystery of the Seven Keys, I really hope that they refocus the balance. Compared to Midnight in Salem, it was so dialogue heavy, and basically the entire story came through exposition dumps, and the exploration was nil. There was like no finding clues in the environment and then using that to puzzle things out. The balance of puzzles was wild.
It was awful.
So I really want the I really want the balance back. I want them to scale back the dialogue. so that there are character conversations, but there's also exploring and looking for clues.
Yeah.
I want there to be puzzles kind of throughout the mystery instead of like concentrated at the end, and I want the difficulty to be kind of balanced. I want them to really, the most important thing for me is to really, really focus on the story and make sure that it has a really compelling plot.
Yeah.
That has cool little nuances in it, like cool little subplots, and that everything just like comes together and makes sense. Like I don't want extraneous characters that feel like if we got rid of them, things wouldn't really change.
Yeah.
Or I don't want like a super like weird convoluted motive for the culprit.
Yeah.
I want things to be fleshed out and complete and like really finished in terms of the story.
Yeah, I'm so with you. I have it on good authority that this game is going to be chock full of content. So I'm really hoping that that's like storyline content as well as like backstory content.
Yes.
To really give us the worlds
right.
that we're in at this point. That would be so good.
Absolutely. Yeah. I hope that we feel like we are in Prague too, because it's like it's all cool and fun to have an international location, but so far a lot of the location reveals I've seen, besides the like exterior of the cathedral, kind of look like they could be anywhere in the world.
Right.
And so I really want them to like, I want to feel like I'm in Prague, and I want to feel like the story and the mystery has some weight to it, like, and it's connected to Prague. There's like, it needs to be interesting.
Yes. Yes, I am with you. That is so important. So, Squid, if you're listening.
Plot first.
Oh, she did the eyes emoji.
Ooh.
Oh, bestie. Okay, so what are your favorite and least favorite Nancy Drew puzzles?
Ooh. I have a bone to pick with the water well puzzle in Phantom of Venice on Senior Detective, because that is the only puzzle in the entire Nancy Drew series that I have never been able to solve without a walkthrough.
Wow.
That puzzle on Senior Detective specifically, and it makes me so angry that there's that one puzzle that I cannot figure out without a walkthrough. Yeah. So that's my worst. Because it's done me dirty.
Oh, bestie indeed.
And then favorite, I'm a sucker for any of the cooking puzzles. I love the snack shop in Waverly. I love making the cake in Secret of Shadow Ranch. Love making the cookies in Danger by Design. It's honestly hard to pick which one, because just all of them, I'm just like, ooh, cooking puzzle.
Yeah.
Yay.
Oh, I love the cooking puzzle. I love Ice School Creek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So many people are like, oh, I stopped doing the meals as quickly as I can. And I'm like, no, I keep going.
Same. Same. I just want to look at the salmon, okay?
Yes, right? The food looks so good.
I know. Except for maybe the amount of salad dressing on that poor salad.
That's fair.
Otherwise, everything looks so good.
Nancy's literally just squeezing half the bottle onto each one.
I know. So every time I make a salad and I've got like hard-boiled egg in it, and you know, just like other random items that you can find in Ice School Creek, I like put a little less dressing on, and then I take a photo and I send it to my sister, and I'm just like, I fixed it.
It's better now.
Squid says, Susie, OMG, so real about the salmon. But really, though, can I have that specific salmon, please? Thank you.
Yeah, I don't think I'll ever have a salmon IRL that's as good as that one.
I know. It's beautiful. Okay, how did you meet Mr. Wizard Kitten?
Aw. We met in college the summer before our senior year. I was a tour guide coordinator, and he was one of our summer tour guides. So I was technically his boss, his manager.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yes.
Wow, that's the opposite of my story with John. He was my boss. Well, he wasn't my boss. He was my best friend's boss.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Very romantic.
Yeah.
So, what is your favorite form of self-care?
Ooh. It's funny because we talked about this on one of the recent streams, because I feel like there are two different kinds of self-care. There's like the rejuvenating self-care, and then there's what we termed on the stream, which was honor your potato time. Because there are some days where the self-care that I need is to just like completely disconnect and veg out and not have to care about things for a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I'm an over-carer and an overthinker. And so
Yeah.
if I can just lay on the couch, watch Gilmore Girls, drink coffee, and not have to stress about anything, sometimes that just has to happen.
Sounds good.
And then there's the kind of like self-care where like I know I'm feeling down and I know that if I do something nice for myself, I'll feel better and then I'll be able to kind of go back about my life.
yeah.
Sometimes I have to honor my potato time first and then I can do that kind of self-care.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
That is something that we should all bring into our lives. Is honoring our potato time and
Yeah.
then doing the rest of the self-care.
Yeah. Because I think the like I do so many, like, I do yoga, I meditate, I take nice baths, I go on nice walks, and that's all kind of like the rejuvenating kind of self-care that I do really love and does make me feel really good. And that's the kind of self-care that's kind of like glorified as like the good kind.
Yeah.
But then like if you're laying on the couch like a potato, then you're being lazy, and that's not self-care, that's just vegging out. And it's like, well, I think it's self-care. I think it deserves the same respect.
Yeah. See, I appreciate that because as a toddler mom that was very, very recently just a baby mom,
Yeah.
I don't get time
Yeah.
like to myself.
Right.
So with Liam he's turning 2 next month. With Liam being a bit older now, I have finally gotten to, like, I started streaming, you know, obviously
Yeah.
I found a little bit of time and I started doing something for myself. Just
Right.
like something to do for fun. It's not exactly the most relaxing, but
Right.
like finding time for self-care is very, very, very difficult.
Yeah.
And it's one of those crazy things where like the other moms will totally probably understand, but when I'm in the moment, I always feel like I'm totally alone in this. And it's basically like I love being a mom. I love my son more than anything in this world. But then sometimes I'm like, I just wish that I could, like, just sit
Right.
and be, you know, or I could
Yes.
just not have, you know, 6 things on my to-do list for the next hour
100%.
or, you know, stuff like that, because it just kind of gets to be a lot on me.
Yeah.
And then I just want to have potato time. You know, I just want to sit on the couch
Yes.
and like not think. So then when he naps, I end up being just like, I can't do anything right now. I need to, you know, I need to
Right.
not do anything. So then that ends up being like my self-care is I
Yeah.
push off the chores
Yes.
and then I just like sit on the couch. And that's
Yep.
my like self-care. So
Mhm.
yeah, I definitely feel like potato time is self-care because sometimes
Absolutely.
I just need to sit on the couch and scroll through Instagram and see what my friends are up to. And
Yes.
feel like myself again, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. That disconnecting is so important, and I feel like everything has to be productive, even our self-care. And it's
Yeah.
like, boo to that.
Yeah.
Who says that self-care has to be productive? That's not what it's for.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I don't know if there are any other moms in the chat, but if there are, you are so seen.
Yeah.
So
I can imagine there's just this like constant voice of just like thinking about things that need to happen, or like, oh my gosh, what does the kiddo need now? Like
Yeah.
that's a lot.
it is a lot. Yeah, I absolutely love being a mom, and my
Yeah.
son is the most perfect human being on the planet.
Absolutely.
Also the cutest human being on the planet, and my favorite person to be with.
Yes.
But you know what? Sometimes it's a lot.
Mhm. Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah, I love my little couple minutes to play Dreamlight Valley while he's asleep.
Yes. 100%.
Yeah.
So necessary.
Yeah. All right. I love that. Okay. So the next 3 questions all came from the same person
Okay.
who we all in the Clue Crew love dearly. but he is not good with schedules. So he had to message me so that he could ask you questions because he missed the question box yet again. Yes,
Oh,
I am
funny.
talking about you, Carter. I don't know if you're still
Oh,
here.
Carter.
But if you are, I'm calling you out. No, I'm kidding. I will always accept questions in no matter what form you guys need to send them. So if the question box is closed and you still have something to tell us, just go for it. I don't care. So he says, I actually remember Wizard Kitten being one of the first YouTubers to actually make content specifically for the games. Walkthroughs existed before then, but Caitlyn specifically has like making Sims 4 builds, analysis videos, rankings, and I feel like a YouTube community was built from this. Where did she get the idea to begin doing it, and what was her source of inspiration to put that sort of content on YouTube?
That is so kind and thoughtful. It was honestly just after doing the ranking of the Nancy Drew games, I realized how much I enjoyed putting my critical research hat on and my analysis hat on, and I realized how much people liked that sort of content as well, because my Nancy Drew analysis videos get significantly more engagement than any of the other videos that I do. And so I know from that it's the kind of content that people are like really excited to see, which also makes me really motivated to keep doing it.
Yeah.
I honestly I've always loved thinking really deeply about things, which is why I'm glad that I finally got over my anxiety and started to pursue my doctorate degree too. I think it's just kind of how my brain works, is just like I just have these questions and I just need to analyze these things. So I think, it just kind of naturally came out of that and aligned with my interests, and it was also a right time kind of thing.
Yeah.
It just happened at the right time.
Well, clearly it worked out.
Yeah, I'm so glad it did too.
Yeah. Oh, that's so good. So did you plan on streaming / showing your face, or as you grew on YouTube, did it just kind of head in that direction?
It did kind of just head in that direction. When I first started streaming, there are a couple people I know who are still active followers today who followed me in like the very, very beginning, when I didn't know what I was doing and I was super anxious the entire time and just like really desperately wanting to please people. I'm like a people pleaser, something I've always struggled with, but like to the point where I was super anxious about trying to make the best possible content for every single person and everyone would love it, and like
Good luck.
putting all this insane pressure. Yeah, exactly. Insane pressure on myself. And so as I started to just like, I started to grow, I started to learn how to just kind of like take comments and suggestions, not like you have to do this, or more of just like hey, like here's an idea, and being able to start like taking comments like that and helped me really start to grow too, in a way where I was just like feeling a lot more confident, to the point where I was just like, okay, I feel like I can show my face online now. So it's really helped me through my anxiety journey a lot too, just having this space.
That's so good.
Yeah, it's been amazing.
Wow, I love that. I love how many of our conversations tonight have felt like therapy.
Yeah, yep. It happens on Wizard Kitten streams a lot, and sometimes I'm just like, oh my gosh, here I go again. Like, we're getting deep again.
But I love that. We were just talking about that last night. I so appreciate it when people on the internet are just their real, true selves.
Yeah.
That's
And I struggle to do that a lot in real life, and the community has helped me learn to do that a lot more. So it's been great.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. All right, so last question. How do you separate your work life from your YouTube life? The two, I assume, are probably so different, and many people probably don't know about the Nancy Drew games. How do you explain it to them?
Ooh, good. Both such good questions.
Oh.
It's so funny because a lot of the time during my prep, when I'm at school, when I'm at work, in between seeing students, I'll pop on YouTube real quick. Like I'll check on the latest video, I'll respond to some comments. And I think I found just a good balance where it's just like, when I have time and I'm feeling motivated, I don't mind returning to it, even if it's like during my workday or right after my workday, because I have to like make videos throughout the week too after getting home from work and being kind of tired. And it helps that I'm really inspired by Nancy Drew content and that it's like something that I'm super motivated by and always excited to talk about. Like I'll be brainstorming video ideas on my hikes and everything. So it helps a lot that I'm really passionate about it, I think, to the point where it's not something that exhausts me. And if I ever have had a super busy week because of my day job, I have gotten to the point, this is another like anxiety thing that I had to overcome, where I can say every once in a while, I'm so sorry guys, I can't do a Wizard Kitten Wednesday video this week. I need to put it off until next week. And people are always so supportive. But getting over that hurdle was definitely like a mind block for myself of like, it is 100% okay to do that. So knowing that it's okay to do that, knowing that it's okay to set boundaries, knowing it's okay that I don't have to like respond to a comment that maybe like hurts my feelings or something like that, that I don't have to like get into that kind of space has helped a ton. And then the other question about how do I explain the Nancy Drew games to people? It's funny because I didn't used to like tell people that I had a YouTube channel at my day job. I don't know if other people experience this, other like young gamers, millennials, Gen Zers. But when I tell the teachers that I work with, like, oh, one of my favorite hobbies is video games and I have a YouTube channel, they look at me kind of like I'm one of their students, because the kids are all like, oh, I love video games and I love everything else. And it makes me feel like a kid sometimes because they just don't always get it. So I had to like kind of get over that and be like, I honestly I don't care if you think it's silly. It makes me super happy. And so I'm going to start living more authentically and kind of explain it to people. Like, no, it's kind of like, it's easier to explain the Nancy Drew games to people because I can explain them as like, it's kind of like the Nancy Drew books. You're solving a mystery. And you are solving puzzles and just kind of enjoying the environment. It's just a video game. Explaining live streaming to people and the fact that I live stream these games, that people want to watch me play a game, that's a lot harder. So I kind of explain it to them like, well, it's like you're watching a baseball game. Like you like baseball. You're not actively playing baseball, but you want to watch the game anyway and just like hang out with people who have a shared interest. That's what Twitch is and that's what YouTube is. And that's why we live stream games, because you can just enjoy it without the pressure of having to play it. So
I love that. I need to use that.
I acquired it recently. I used to be like, oh, it's kind of like Netflix, like you're just sitting down and watching a show. But then my mother-in-law actually like equated it to a baseball game, and I was like, oh, that makes so much more sense. That's a perfect analogy.
I love that because I can like 10,000% relate to you here. Where like, okay, I've only just started my YouTube channel back up like I want to say I started streaming back in April. Surprisingly, did not coincide with all of the events, but I think I did Vampire Diaries back in April, and I was just like, I just want to do it. It's just gonna be fun. Yeah. And then I started, and I was like, oh, this is great. But then it started kind of like growing, and like things were happening, and then all of a sudden, people at my day job are asking me, and then I'm like, oh, well, I'm into this really niche, nerdy thing.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. It's so hard to explain to people because, like, some people know. Some people definitely know. But then, like, so for anybody who doesn't know, I'm a bridal stylist, which is a really
cool,
fancy, classy, like, very, elegant environment.
Yes.
So you never expect a person who works in bridal fashion to be a YouTuber.
Yeah. Yes.
So it's very interesting, like, when it does come up with my coworkers, because they never bring it up to my brides, but when it comes up with my coworkers, then all of a sudden I'm like, okay, yeah, so I'm actually not as like classy elegant as I look right now.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I have this fun nerdy interest.
Yeah, exactly. And then people just kind of look at you and they're like, oh, okay. I had one person who was asking me about it, like turned to another coworker and she was like, "Are you a YouTuber?" And she was like,
No.
"No."
Oh no. Yeah, and it's just those reactions where it's just like, I think a lot of people just like can't wrap their heads around the concept of like, why would you spend your time doing that? It's like, because it's fun.
Because we're millennials and we remember when YouTube became a thing. And
Yeah,
it was a big
it's
deal.
like safe. We're hanging out with our friends. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of reasons.
Yeah, exactly. Milo says, as Gen Z, we don't really have this problem. Good for you.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Yeah,
you know what? I'm in my late 20s. I have this problem.
yeah. A lot of teachers skew like a little bit older.
Yeah.
So like when I'm explaining it to them, they're just like right over their head. Like, are you like playing Fortnite like the kids on their tablets? And like, I know what Fortnite is, and I can talk to the kids intelligently about Fortnite, but
It's not exactly that, but
yeah, not exactly that. The
It's
world's
like
a little bit
adjacent.
bigger than that.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
adjacent. It's there's that game, and then there's
Right.
other games.
Yeah. It's like they only know about Minecraft and Fortnite because that's what the kids talk about all the time, or Roblox. Those are the three that the kids talk about all the time. And then they're just like, so you're like playing Minecraft or something? It's like, oh no, there's so much out there.
Oh, there is. There's such fun to be found.
There is. There's honestly something for everyone.
I
Pick your
know.
genre. It's there.
I know, exactly. I just found out, little short tangent. I just found out that you can customize your experience on Steam so that it only shows you the kinds of games that you actually play.
Oh, nice.
And when I tell you that that changed my life.
Yeah.
So as a cozy gamer, I was getting really sick of only seeing like violent shooters.
Yeah,
on
the shooters
Steam
everywhere.
Homepage.
Yes.
So literally, all I did was I went into my preferences and I said you can check off things to avoid. And I was like,
genius.
avoid the violent shooters. It's great.
Perfect.
Because I never play them.
Yeah, right.
So now I only see like the cozy games that I love.
Oh, I'm totally doing that now. That's going to make it a lot easier to find games to play on the channel, too.
Yes, exactly. So I highly recommend to everyone who has a certain genre that they prefer for gaming, go to your Steam and it's like you type it in so you can be like, I want to avoid horror. Just type in horror and it'll come up with all the different types of horror that you can find. And you can be like,
Wow.
avoid them all. It's great.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hot tip. There we go. Words failed me for a second.
Yes. Oh, thank you, Arceli says, this is the same generation that says Taylor Swift is a whiner, so don't worry about it, ladies. That is
Taylor Swift is a queen.
great, yes. And Maggie says, I feel like I need to do that for my Steam account now. Yes, everybody should do it. I fully recommend.
It's genius.
Okay, so that was the end of the questions that I had for you for tonight, but we can't end this without one more game of FMK.
Perfect.
Alright, so let's see, who do we have?
A couple have been very hard and a couple have been very straightforward, so this is interesting.
Dylan Carter.
Wonderful.
I love him.
Charming British accent. We love.
He asked us to run away with him, and I'm always like, yes!
Yeah, Nancy says no.
I know!
Wild.
Okay, Colton Burtonfield.
Okay.
Okay. Or in my, I like to call him Colton Buttface. And finally, we have Denal Delaney.
Denal Delaney.
So good. Oh, and Laura redeemed FMK, so we're gonna have to do it again after we do this.
Oh,
round.
shucks. Okay, well, there's a pretty obvious age gap issue for me and Denal Delaney.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to fight him. Sorry, Denal. You also wouldn't let me into the castle. I was an invited guest.
Literally.
We gotta
I think you
fight.
could take him.
Yeah, I think I could too.
I think you could jetpack over him.
Yes, absolutely. And then I'm choosing between Dylan Carter and who was the second one?
Colton Birchfield.
Colton Birchfield. Okay. Ooh, that's tough. I think so. I'm very charmed by Dylan. I think Dylan is very charming, but I don't know how reliable Dylan Carter is. I don't know how much I can trust Dylan. He's lying to us for a lot of the mystery. He's pretty evasive, but he's so cute.
So cute.
He's so cute, and his voice is so wonderful. But Colton's also keeping some big secrets.
Yeah.
I appreciate how Colton talks about his mental health more than a
Yeah.
lot of other characters.
But he's got that side chick.
He does, which is an
Yeah.
issue.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, it's complicated because they were pushed apart by Clara and his parents, not because of them. And
Yeah.
Jesselyn wasn't super into it either. It's like a very messy situation.
Oh, it's so messy.
But Colton being quiet about it and like trying to hide it is not okay either.
Right.
So I will marry Dylan Carter. I will trust that he will be there for me, even though he seems a little flaky.
Yeah.
And I will kiss Colton.
Okay, nice. Wow. So I love that. I love how you think things through so like clearly and carefully. Whereas I'm going, he asked me to travel the world with him. I'm gonna go have like the absolute most amazing like world travel time with this sexy British guy.
Yes, absolutely.
Although I will say, and I brought this up in Hugh's stream when he played this game. I am an arm girl, and Dylan has not great arms.
This is true. This is true.
There is something wonky going on with his arms, and I just really appreciate some good arms, and he doesn't have them.
That's true.
So
Yeah.
we're still
And
going to
Colton's
have
kinda
very
wearing a
sexy time,
blazer.
but, like, no.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's a fair point.
Yeah, I know. It's the arms. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I hear you.
Okay. All right. So let's play one more because Laura requested,
Fantastic.
and then I absolutely must let you all go to bed because it was getting late. Sorry,
Lewis Chandler.
Lewis Chandler is right next to Lucas Middlemeyer. Hold on. Since
funny.
I'm thinking about it, let me just go and take him off the list.
Remove Lucas.
Where is he? Goodbye. I'm sorry. It's just that you're so illegal. Okay, so
Yep.
Lewis Chandler. And then...
Lewis Chandelier.
Yes. Arms, a big reason you're Frosty
Thanos
Harlow.
does have amazing arms.
Yeah.
Frosty.
Oh my gosh. Lauren. She's making us play the third tower.
Fine by me.
Yeah,
Did I get someone good? Ned, yay! Okay, marry Ned. 100%. Those other two don't stand a chance. Ned is loyal, he is sweet, he is caring, he is an amazing partner. He would make an amazing husband.
Yes. I
Lewis Chandler.
got
go
so
ahead.
excited that I forgot who everybody else was. Okay. So
Yeah, me too.
Lewis, Frosty, and Ned.
Okay, Lewis and Frosty. I don't really want to kiss Lewis though either. But I definitely don't want to marry Lewis. So I guess I'm marrying Frosty and I will kiss Lewis.
There you go.
As much as I'd rather not. They both lie quite a bit throughout the games.
Wait, hang on.
But Frosty lies less, and his lie is in the interest of helping someone, so it's at least a little better.
Pause for a moment.
Yes.
If you're marrying Frosty and you're kissing Lewis, does that mean you're fighting Ned?
Oh my gosh, no. No, I messed up the letters. No, marrying Ned. I messed up the words.
I got real concerned.
Oh no. I forgot that I get to marry Ned. I just got so blindsided by the fact that I get to marry Ned that I just lost my mind.
Literally.
marry Ned, kiss Frosty, fight Lewis. There we go.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah, that is awesome. All right, you guys, last round. Last round. I'm like watching the chat, like to see if anybody else is
Someone's gonna redeem again.
Okay. Nope, we've already done that. Nope. We can't have Jean-Michel again. We're not.
Nancy, who supposedly knows French.
We're not having Frosty again. See, this is why you can't have this many in one, because it just keeps repeating guys.
Yeah.
Gilbert Buford.
Gilbert Buford.
Oh gosh. Starting off strong here.
Yep.
Oscar from Eden.
Oh, okay.
And finally... Hugo Butterly. This is bad.
This is hard. Wow. Oh, is Oscar the phone one?
Yeah.
Who's been announced so far?
He's
Okay.
like on the phone in an office maybe?
Kind of sassy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we haven't seen him much, but people fought me to have the new characters put on the wheels. So
Interesting.
they are here.
Okay. They are here. I will marry Hugo Butterly. I'm marrying some Danger by Design characters that I never thought I would say I would marry, but Jean-Michel and Hugo Butterly, but between the three, I feel most comfortable with Hugo Butterly.
Yeah.
I guess I gotta fight Dr. Buford. This is too much of an age gap again. Like, it's another Denal Delaney situation.
Oh, and he's creepy.
Yeah. It's a shame because he's nice, but it's like a 40-year or so age gap that's like, yeah, I can't do that. No. So I guess kiss Oscar?
Yeah.
I don't know much about him.
None of us
So
do.
that's- Yeah. So I guess that's a fair place, right in the middle.
Oh my goodness. I had 2 more people redeem FMK. Do you want to play more? Because we can.
I am totally fine. I'm an hour separated from you, so
That's
it's actually
true.
not super late for me.
That's true. That's true. Okay.
It is totally up to you. I am totally fine to keep going.
Okay, awesome. I don't want to be like the person who's like, all right, and now you play again, and now you play again.
This
we
is
did
super fun. I never get to do this in any other situation, so.
I love this game. I love this
Mhm.
game. Okay, so we will play it 2 more times, but you people need to stop redeeming this. Okay. So... Thanos.
Oh, Thanos.
Speak of the devil.
Okay, he's a hunk.
He is. I think he could kill me with very little effort, though.
Yeah, he's terrifying.
Yeah. Oh! We can't do you again, Colton. You're out of this. There are 93 characters. You'd think that I would go off of the same guy.
You would think, yeah.
Franklin Rose.
Who knows?
An obscure one.
Yeah, very obscure. Wow.
You were this close to King to call, though. And Dwayne Powers.
Dwayne! Oh no! Okay, Dwayne and Franklin Rose, and who is the first one?
Thanos.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm fighting Dwayne Powers because he's got murderous intentions, and that's scary, so I'm fighting back.
No.
I will marry Franklin Rose. He seems like a nice guy. He's he's putting a little bit of pressure on Nancy to run an internship in a field in which she has no experience, and oh yeah, just take over the whole museum. It's fine. You can do this.
But you know what?
But-
He's a lawyer, so he's probably loaded.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I'm comfortable with that. And yeah, I'm comfortable with Kiss for Thanos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's pretty cute.
He's extremely handsome.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm down with that.
Yeah, not good relationship material, that one. But I would definitely accept a kiss.
Yeah. Okay. Last one, y'all. Let's get some wild cards in this one, please. No, not Franklin Rose. I'm done with Franklin Rose.
He heard me say I wanted to marry him, so he's back.
He's like, oh, so you like Franklin Rose, huh?
Oh.
Who we having a chat tonight?
Hi, Joshua.
Oh, no, not with you, Papa.
It's the whole cast of Secret.
It's us to stop. I really need to start, like, taking them off the list when we're done. Oh, Chase Relifer.
Okay, sure.
Pretty cute.
Yeah.
And finally... Brady Armstrong. There you go, there's your wild card.
Funny. Okay, Brady Armstrong, Jim Archer, and Chase Relaford. I will marry Chase. Chase is down to earth. I think he's a good guy. I think he would be really nice.
He's so sweet.
Yeah, I think he'd be a really good partner. I think he'd be a very attentive partner. I will... Let's see, Chase. Who are the other two?
Jim and
Jim.
Brady.
And Brady. Yeah, Brady. I will kiss Jim Archer and I will fight Brady Armstrong. Brady is way too narcissistic.
Yes.
And it must stop.
Yes. Yes. Let's not forget the end of the final scene here.
Mhm. Withholding evidence, helping to set up shady funeral wreaths, like,
Yeah.
And then the whole building debacle. No.
Yeah. Literally.
I will fight the power by fighting Brady Armstrong.
Oh, see, I have one more question for you that just kind of came to
Of
mind.
course.
Is there a character in the Nine Street Games who Mr. Wizard Kitten is most like?
That's a really good question. I think he has a lot in common with Henrik Vanderheun. Kind of like the dry sense of humor, very intellectual, very analytical.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of Abdullah Bakum energy in Mr. Wizard Kitten. He's very passionate, very opinionated, very confident. So there's a little bit of that energy, but balanced out by like the Henrik Vanderheun, like analytical brain kind of thing. So if you put those two energies together and balance them out, I think that's a pretty good description of Mr. Wizard Kitten.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I remember that because you started talking about Fight the Power, and Nick Falcone is like 100% my husband. So
Oh, funny. Love that.
right down to the cargo shorts, you guys.
That's amazing.
Yep. All right, you guys. So that's all the content that I have for you tonight. So I hope that you enjoyed getting to know Caitlyn a little bit better. Oh, here's my cat. Hold on.
I was going to say, speaking of kittens, there's a... Oh,
This is Salem.
beautiful black cat baby.
Oh, say hi.
Is this the 3-year-old or the 1-year-old?
This is the 1-year-old.
The 1-year-old. Yes, you are. Look at you.
Yeah. He's kind of a mess. He's biting me literally right now.
He's biting me.
He's kind of a mess, but we love him.
Little Halloween masterpiece right there.
Yeah. He is.
Mel never did come in here.
Oh, yeah.
That was one of the questions. Can we see the cat? And she's not here, so I don't know where she is.
Oh, that's okay. We saw the cat last night.
That's true. Watch
Yeah.
back the Message in a Haunted Mansion stream to see her chair acrobatics.
Yes, it was good. It was good. All right. So thank you so much for coming on my stream, Caitlyn. It was so wonderful to get to know you better and ask you all of our just crazy, silly questions. Do you have any final words for us?
Just thank you so much for this wonderful evening. Thank you for asking me to be here. I'm absolutely honored, and this was so much fun.
Oh, I'm the one who's honored. My gosh. I just started streaming and now I'm getting all of these really cool YouTubers on my channel. Like, what?
It's such a pleasure.
Oh, seriously. It has been so fun getting to know you. And thank you all
Same.
for joining in the chat. It's been so great. I've seen some new faces. It's been so wonderful to get to chat with all of you. And for those of you who are new to the channel, if you're interested in seeing the people that I've interviewed formerly, like last week I had Michael Gray, Arglefump on, and previously I had some other really cool people such as Jetpack of Gooba and Jetpack, and Hugh Miller of Nancy Drew Walkthroughs, and just so many other amazing, amazing people. Tori, one of my absolute favorite people in the world, who does Tori and D piano. If you guys are not familiar, check her out. So yes, so many amazing people. Just check out the whole list. Check out the whole list. They're all amazing. I love bringing the Nancy Drew community to the community and just getting to know everyone better. So thank you guys so much for joining the traveling question. Oh, I kind of stopped doing that because I was a little sick of it. I'm sorry. I got sick of it, so I'll figure out something else to do. This is still season 1. We haven't figured it all out yet. If you guys have ideas of what to replace the traveling question with, you let me know. Thank you. Awesome. Okay, so join me next week. I am interviewing Cameron of Distant Dimensions, and if you're not familiar with him, he is so cool. He makes his own video games, and he's currently working on a point-and-click mystery that
Love that.
I'm super excited for. And yes, there are going to be some familiar voices in this game. I will let you know. So anyway, we're gonna chat with him next week, and please be aware that it's going to be at a vastly different time than my usual streams, because he's on like another.
You're a real Snoopy Susie, aren't you?
So loud. Oh my gosh. Okay, so yes, Cameron will be on. We will be streaming at, I believe, 5:30 Eastern. So it's going to be a little different. I will totally understand if some of you aren't able to join because it's a little earlier and maybe you're still at work or having dinner with your families. Totally understand. That's what the VODs are for. So anyway, thank you so much, you guys. And that's all I've got. So I will see you all next time.
Bye.
Bye.